po ito ang News TV Live. Nagsasagawa ng press briefing ang Senado sa pangunguna ni Senadora Grace Poe kaugnay sa investigasyon nito sa engkwentro sa Mama Sapano. Panoorin po natin ito. Mama Sapano. Naasahan pong ilalabas ngayong araw ng committee report ng Senado kaugnay ng inquiry nito sa engkwentro sa Mama Sapano. Nauna nang sinabi ni Senadora Grace Poe na walang sasantuhin ang resulta ng investigasyon ng Senado sa engkwentro sa Mama Sapano. Ayon kay Poe na chairperson ng Senate Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs na nanguna sa pagsasagawa ng inquiry, tatalakay ng report nito maging ang naging papel ni Pangulong Aquino sa Oplan Exodus. Panorin po natin ito.
More than 4,300 documents. The committees were able to ferret out answers to burning questions on the Mama Sapano incident. But the inquiry has also provoked more thought on our values and priorities as a people. Ang iniyakang sa aming tungkulin ito ay ginawa namin ng may buong pagsusumika na mailahat ang katotohanan nang walang sinasagot at kinakatakutan sa pagkalap ng mga ebidensya. Sa pinakamaagap na panahon, dahil alam ko gusto na ninyo ng kasagutan, ayon sa panawagan ng justisya, hindi para sa bansa, para sa bawat Pilipino, para sa inyo, para sa bawat naulila at sa kanilang mga supling na hindi. Ang report na ito ay matapat at marugtog namin sinulat. Should Oplan Exodus be considered a failure or success, the Mama Sapano operation resulted in the neutralization of one of the targets, terrorist Marwan, but at the cost of 44 SAC commandos. High-value targets over the safety of our troops. What should be the policy regarding U.S. or any other foreign entity involved in our local law enforcement operations? If achieving peace in Mindanao is the priority, should we overlook the inadequacies of our partner in this process, the MILF, such as their lack of control over the ground forces and their disrespect for legitimate government operations? Katarungan, katotohanan, kapayapaan. Ito ang naging layunin at gabay ng mga Senate Committee sa ating mga naging investigasyon ukol sa naganap sa Mama Sapano, Maguindanao noong January 25, 2015. Ito rin ang hangarin sa paghanda ng aming committee report Malinaw ang intensyon ng komite sa ating naging pagdinig at inaasahan ang ganito ring kalinawan sa paghanda ng ulat. The joint Senate committees consisting of the Public Order, Peace, Unification, Reconciliation, Committee on Finance have started to route the over 120-page committee report on the tragic Mama Sapano incident to senators today. Let us not forget that the main purpose also of these hearings are for legislative guidance and functions. This committee report highlights the following major findings. Number one, the Mama Sapano incident is clearly a massacre, not simply a so-called misencounter. Number two, the concerned members of the MILF, BIFF, and other armed groups murdered and robbed the 44th PNP SAF commandos. Number three, former PNP Chief Alan Purisima committed usurpation of authority or official functions, violating Article 177 of the Revised Penal Code. In addition, an administrative complaint may be filed with the Ombudsman against Purisima for grave misconduct and conduct prejudicial to the best interests of the service. A petition to cite him in contempt may also be filed in the Ombudsman. Number four, ex-SAF Chief Getulio Napeñas committed grave misconduct, inefficiency, and incompetence in the performance of official duties and for conduct prejudicial to the best interests of service under the revised rules on administrative cases in civil service. As to the President, he is ultimately responsible for the Mama Sapano mission. Siya na po mismo ang nagsabi noon, bilang Pangulo at Commander-in-Chief, pasan ko naman po ang responsibilidad para sa anumang resulta, sa anumang tagumpay, pasakit o trahedya na maaari nating matamasa sa paghahangad ng pangmatagalang seguridad at kapayapaan. He assented to Purisima's unlawful exercise of official functions, particularly the latter's usurpation of authority of official functions. The President relied on and directly coordinated with the suspended PNP chief, as it was shown that he continued to communicate with the latter on Oplan Exodus based on testimonies and evidence presented in the public hearing. Likewise, there are indications that the planning and execution of the botched mission were not 100% Filipino planned and implemented. U.S. personnel played a role in the training for and monitoring of the said operation. The committees found that the United States substantially invested in the entirety of Oplan Exodus. They provided equipment, training, and intelligence. However, this raises the question of whether the PNP leadership would have entered into such a risky and hazardous operation without the support of the United States and the 5 million reward offered for Marwan's capture. It is imperative that any president display unquestionable leadership, be forthright and candid with our people, accept the responsibilities for decisions made and mistakes perhaps along the way. Nobody is infallible. The President and other high-ranking government officials could have done more under the circumstances to prevent or minimize the number of deaths that jolted the nation. Maring meron pa sana silang ginawa. At yun pong pinag-aaralan namin at pinag-aralan namin para hindi na maulit muli ang ganitong klaseng trahedya. Had the President and key security officials who were with him in Zamboanga, namely Secretary Mar, Secretary Paul Casmin, OIC Chief Espina, and also General Katapang, discussed the incident and shared information clearly and openly in the early stages of the tragic day, coordination between the Army and the PNP might have been hastened and fewer lives could have been lost. Since he was familiar with the plan, the President might have stepped in and displayed stronger positioning and leadership regarding the rescue operations if he was given the proper information. In police and military operations, decisions are made by ground commanders. And this is clear, even in the BOI report, that the ground commander has the ultimate responsibility. However, in that instance, strong interagency coordination could have been easily ordered. In his defense, the president said he was given inaccurate information. And I think that we were able to validate that also with the texts made available to us. Even the president himself was asking, if you say that there are only this many unfriendly forces or enemies, why are we retreating if we are not outnumbered? These are some of the legitimate questions that the president was not given information to. And he was also he was also led to believe that there was coordination with the AFP. As Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, the President wields great power and has vast resources at his disposal. The decision of the President and his men not to use those resources immediately to prevent the carnage must be explained. For the pursuit of justice, the peace that we seek must be based on justice, where the rule of law reigns supreme and where violators are brought before the bar of justice. The blood and heroism of the SAF 44 must not be dishonored. Our people will accept no less. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, considering that the President was ultimately responsible with the Mama Sapano operation, paano ho siya mapapanagot? Ano po yung recommendation?
Ganito lamang kasimple, no? Ang presidente kasi ang chief executive at commander-in-chief. Ngayon, napapailalim sa kanya ang lahat ng ahensya ng gobyerno. Kahit nasabihin pa ng iba na walang chain of command, na hindi siya kasama sa chain of command, halimbawa ng PNP. Ngayon, paano mapapanagot ang presidente? Linawin muna natin ang mga bagay-bagay ukol sa nangyari sa Mama Sapano. Paano namatay ang ating mga pulis doon? Sila ay binaril. Sinong pumatay sa kanila? Yun ang una talaga na may kasalanan dito, na may responsibilidad. Ang ating Pangulo ang nagbigay ng direktiba at nag-aproba ng pagtugis kay Marwan at Usman. Kaya ang tagumpay at pagkakamali dito ay makakarating sa kanya. Pero malinaw dito sa binanggit ko, ang ating matutuon halimbawa sa presidente ay assenting to and failing to prevent the usurpation of power ni General Purisima. Alam niyo po, magiging tapat ako dito, no? Sa umpisa pa lamang kasi, kung hindi kasama si General Purisima dito sa sitwasyon na ito, hindi magiging ganito kalaki ang duda sa motibo ng mga namumuno. Sa tingin kong intensyon ng ating Pangulo ay maayos. Talaga namang maraming pinatay si Usman at si Marwan. Halos 100 tao pag pinagsama mo ang kanilang mga naging biktima. Dapat naman talaga ay ay matugis natin at mahuli itong mga teroristang ito. Pero nga, dahil sa katiwalian nagkaroon ng suspensyon si General Purisima, nagkaroon ng duda tuloy sa motibo at hangarin ng ating Pangulo. Pero wag din natin kalilimutan ang bagay na ito. At sasabihin ko po ito na nalalaman ko, ang pamilya ng mga SAF natin ay malapit kay General Napeñas. Pero ilahad lang po natin ang katotohanan. Minsan masakit rin po marinig ito. At lalong-lalo na pag alam nyo may malasakit, lalo na kung kapamilya ninyo, kapatid ninyo, ayaw nyong aminin kung ito ay talagang pagkakamali. Pero sa BOI report mismo, ang ground commander ang may direktang responsibilidad. Bakit ko nasabi ito? Sapagkat pinaplano ito eh. Sapagkat ikaw ang nandun mismo sa pinangyarihan o kung ilang kilometrong layo lamang sa pinangyarihan. At huwag nating kakalimutan din itong mga nangyari na ito. Unang-una, sinabi rin mismo ni General Napeñas na sinabi ng Pangulo na dapat ay makipag-coordinate sa AFP. Ngayon, konsepto rin ni General Napeñas ang time on target. This is a principle not adhered to by the PNP for reasons that can bring about such tragedy if there's no coordination. So yung time on target sa kanya, ang definition ng time on target, pagdating na lang natin doon sa lugar, natin ipapaalam sa AFP at sa iba pang mga friendly forces. Pero nangyari, hindi din yun ang nasunod. Sinabihan na niya ang military nung kailangan na nila ng tulong at nakuha na si Marwan or napatay na si Marwan. Hindi man lang yan time on target eh. Time after target. Pangatlo yun, no? Pang-apat, nung kami nagkaroon ng executive session, kaya importante rin ito, sasabihin ko na sa inyo ano yung mga nabanggit doon, di ba? Yung pinag-usapan namin na foreign involvement. Nung umpisa, remember nakasumpa sila, they're under oath. At kahit na executive session, kaya nga namin sila binigyan ng pagkakataon para mas maging tapat. Tinatanong namin si General Napeñas kung merong mga Amerikano na kasama dito. Nung umpisa, hindi pa nga niya inaamin eh. Hanggang hindi siya tinanong ni Senator Tito Soto. Totoo ba na ang pangalan ay si ganito? Opo. So, Katz. Sinabi niya yung pangalan, parang Al Katz. Binanggit niya. Ilan ba sila nandun? Parang sinabi niya muna, balikan na lang natin yung nandun sa committee report eh. Pero kung nasama yon, pero ang pagkakaalala ko, parang una sinabi niya muna 2, tapos naging 3, tapos naging 6. Doon pa lamang, paano niyo nakilala? Paano niyo pinapunta yung Amerikano doon? Ang sagot niya ay ganito, bigla na lang po nandun na sila eh. Alam niyo po, masakit mawalan ng mga kasama mo. At ako'y nakikiramay din kay General Napeñas. Pero kung ang sinasabi ng iba, hindi niya sinunod, meron kasing consistency din. Dahil sa aming pagtatanong din sa kanya, ganun, habang tinatanong din namin siya, sinabi niya, nag-set up din ng mga Amerikano ng mga monitoring television, so kung ano man, dun sa aming headquarters. Pero hindi nilahad ng katotohanan agad-agad. Kaya ang tagal ng aming mga executive sessions. Ngayon, kung ang iniisip niya ay diplomatic relations, kailangan rin siguro isipin na meron tayong kalayaan at sovereignty. Na kami ang mas may karapatan na malaman ng mga bagay nito dahil yung national security ay amin din pinangangalagaan. So hindi lamang po yan yung sa time on target, tapos yung hindi sinunod yung sinabi ng Pangulo. Yung sana rin, pati yung dun sa pag-report, ang ating PNP, ang ating AFP, hindi nalaman sa kanila hanggang alas 5 ng hapon na hindi lang pala yung 55th SAC ang natrap, kundi yung 84th. Imagine, at 5 in the afternoon, the AFP did not know clearly what the mission was. Alam niyo po, time on target, okay, let's accept it as a principle. Bibigyan ka ng doktrina ng time on target. Pero siguro naman, by the time you notify them of the mission, dapat General Pangilinan, time on target, pasensya na po, ito yung naging aming desisyon, this is authorized by the President. Pero ito po ang plano, ito po ang coordinates, ito po ang mission, ganito po karaming tao, ito po ang aming mga armas. Hindi mo pwedeng biglain yung ganon. I respect what the military said, that you cannot just deploy, for example, air support at the last minute. You cannot just fire artillery support. because of the friendly forces on the ground, no forward observers, and also enemy forces on the ground. Where exactly are they? Ang isa pa, dun sa sinasabi natin sa military ngon, ang military kasi, meron silang tinatawag na SMEAC. Situation, mission, tapos situation, mission, execution, administration, and communication. Malinaw yon. Ano yung mission mo, paano yung execution? Doon lang sa huli, doon tayo sa pinakamadaling maintindihan. Communication. Siyempre, kailangan parehong frequency ng radyo ninyo para magkaintindihan kayo. Yung pala, pumapasok, ang bawat isang grupo, isa lamang ang radyo. At sinasabi nila, yung Harris Radio ang umaandar, yung Motorola hindi. Ibig sabihin, sinabi nila na pinaghandaan nila ito, ininsayo nila ito 3 days before or 2 days before. Bakit hindi sila sigurado sa terrain? At yung mga tao mismo na ini-interview namin ng mga survivors, ang pagkakaalam nila, sinabi sa kanila ng kanilang commander, darating ang military. Pinaniwala sila doon. So, siguro, darating din ito sa punto kasi, na kung hindi suspendido, ang naging tulay, baka mas nagkaroon ng supervision. Kasi syempre, suspendido nga kaya nga palihim. Natural, kung palihim ka, hindi ka pwedeng lantaran na makialam. Kaya tuloy, ang operasyon ay nandoon sa Mama Sapano at ikaw ay nasa Luzon. Mahirap din yon. Yun yung mga pumapasok sa akin. Kaya ako naman sinabi lahat din ito sapagkat hindi ko sinasabing mas mabigat ito, mas mabigat sa isa. Lahat po may responsibilidad. Kaya nakatuon po tayo talaga sa pinakamataas. Natural lang naman po yun. Pero let us qualify also the responsibilities of each who are involved. Let us not forget that these men died in the hands of bandits, of rebels. Sila po ang kumalabit sa baril na pumatay. Huwag natin kalimutan na sa 44, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, lagpas sa kalahati ay overkill ang pagkapatay or close range. Hindi po self-defense na yon. So yun po muna, kung meron pang ibang katanungan.
Ang follow-up lang. So the best that the committee can do or can say for now is to ask the President to explain why he chose to communicate with the suspended PNP chief?
That's not necessarily the best, Kasi, unang-una po, the committee has all of these, and of course, the President has to explain, and not just why he chose Purisima, but also, remember they're missing texts, or I'm not saying they're missing texts, we don't have the phone records. So if there are added communications that will clarify the situation, perhaps if the President spoke with the military leadership, that could also help understand. But with regards to our findings on the President's responsibility, it is really assenting to, which means pinayagan, allowed, the participation of a suspended PNP chief. And number 2, yun nga, because of the chain of command, or kung hindi man chain of command, because he ordered the operation, ultimately, it will come back to you. But again, qualified, because of all of the other blunders also within the operation. Tragic mistakes.
Ma'am, if I may clarify, you are saying that the criminal liability lies on the MILF, administrative liabilities kay Purisima and Napeñas. Can you say political liability kay Pangulong Aquino?
Halos tama ka na talaga dyan. Isa na lang ang kulang. Kay General Purisima, hindi po ako abogado, pero pagkakaintindi ko, usurpation is still criminal. Pero ang nakakalungkot po nito, 6 months lang po talaga yata ang pagkakakulong dito, kung meron man. Pero alam nyo, masakit din kasi sa unipormadong tao ay ang ma-dismiss, administrative penalties, dismissal. Kasi pinaghirapan mo ng ilang taon, pensyon mo, pride mo. Ibig sabihin, di ba yung achievements mo, biglang mababaliwala yan dahil sa administrative liability mo. So, parusa yan na malaki sa kanila.
Ma'am, as a follow-up, did the committee or were you able to establish what were the actions taken by the President in Zamboanga City?
Unfortunately, not only is it a bit vague and ambiguous what exactly happened in Zamboanga, because remember we had to rely on the statements of the resource persons. We don't really have much more to go on because, number one, remember when the security cluster was asked, what did you do when you found out? Did you tell the president? It took a while for them to answer. So the question is this: if they knew of the situation at 5 in the morning, and this is not just the president, let's not forget General Espina, Secretary Mar, Secretary Volts, and General Katapang knew early in the morning. What could they have done? Couldn't they have called, maybe, especially if I have the best interest of the president, because the president should have the best interest of the people at heart. So, if I would like also to clarify with the president, shouldn't I have pulled him and insisted, Sir, alam ba ninyo ganito ang nangyayari doon? Itong pwede natin gawin. Kasi matagal pang lumipad itong mga, again, I'm no military expert, no? Kung nasa Zamboanga yung air support, papunta muna sa Cotabato bago pumunta doon, matatagalan. Pero kung umaga nag-umpisa, remember, let's also not forget that the ceasefire mechanism, Ladyasan informed one of them as early as, if I'm not mistaken, 7 in the morning. Alam na nila yung session of yung peace mechanism, alam na ng CCCH, ganun kaaga pa lamang. 9 o'clock, nandun na yung international monitoring team. Pero mga alas 12 pa dumating yung head ng CCCH. Yun ang pagkakaintindi ko. Pagdating ng alas 12, siguro doon pa sila nag-coordinate doon. And remember, hindi lang MILF ang nandun. Pintakasi nga eh. So may BIFF, merong private armed groups. So at that point, 12 na. 5 o'clock na nga eh, na-rescue yung 84th or nag-umpisa yung artillery fire. So, at hindi natin alam kung natigil yan dahil dun sa mekanismo ng peace process o dahil nga sa pag-fire ng artillery. Mukhang yung pag-fire ng artillery yung talagang tumigil. Remember 5 nag-fire yung artillery pero hindi sila nakuha hanggang alas 12 pa ng gabi Ganon katagal. At hindi ko sinasabi na walang ginawa ang AFP sapagkat kahit papano, kulang man sa ating pananaw at naniniwala ko they could have done more. Silang sumama sa PNP para kunin pa ang 84th na na-trap doon. So, yun.
Ma'am, sorry. In drafting your report, did the committee consider the public statements of the president explaining his involvement?
Absolutely, because we're co-equal branch of government, and even in the BOI it says so. So we didn't compel the president, and I don't think we even have that authority to let him testify. So we use his statements because we should always assume that the president is telling the truth to the public. That is the obligation of the commander-in-chief, to be truthful to the public. So even if he has not taken an oath, what you say publicly should be considered, should at least be should be the truth.
Given that, is it correct to conclude that you found his statements unacceptable or insufficient? That's why the committee decided that it finds fault in his actions.
I wouldn't say unacceptable. There are parts of it, of course, where I feel that it is lacking. Marami palagi nga sinasabi yung bakit si General Purisima, bakit ba talaga nung umpisa hindi talaga siya kasama. Nung pangalawa, hindi sinabi sa kanya yung tunay na hindi naging tapat sa kanya. Marami pang explanation at saka yung explanation rin, at ito ay pumapasok sa isip ng marami, no? Is it because of the peace process that the military's hands were tied in this situation? I wouldn't say that the president had the directive to stop them because of the peace agreement, but we would also like to hear, of course, the president condemning in the strongest possible terms the violation of the peace agreement talks. Alam nyo, masyado nang yung emosyon dito at talagang kriminal ang mga pumatay na yan. Nakakalungkot sapagkat may peace talks tayo. Talagang dapat sila managot. Eh yung MILF nga hindi sinusumite hanggang ngayon yung kanilang committee report. Ngayon, naintindihan ko pwedeng matagal, maraming konsiderasyon, mga kasamahan nila yan, rebelding grupo sila. Pero siguro, bilang pagpapakita ng sinseridad, ay mas mabuti sanang ipinakita nila yon. Kasi di ba sabi nila, they are not sanctioned by the MILF. They acted on their own individual capacities. Itong mga rebelde ng MILF, apparently, it was not a directive of the MILF. They acted on their own individual capacities. Therefore, they must be tried in their own individual capacities and not as part of the whole peace agreement mechanism.
Ma'am, so both the BOI and your committee have placed responsibility on the president. What do you think can he do now at this point?
Well, as asked also, of course, this is more a political crisis also for the president. And I know that this is a very difficult position for him. And I sympathize with him because of the gravity of the situation and what he has to be answerable to. But let us not forget that the people voted for him because they have faith in his integrity and in his capability to be able to help us. So perhaps the way forward really is, I'd be remiss in my responsibility also if I don't admit that certainly there were huge mistakes. There were mistakes in the planning, in the order, etc. As I said, nobody is infallible. So certain aspects, the president, as they say, the buck stops with him. If he can own up to it, I'm sure the people would be less confused. Others would much appreciate it.
Ma'am, you already distributed copies to the senators. Is there any chance you can have the majority vote for today or at least for tomorrow?
I am hoping, but this is the case. I feel very responsible for this committee report because although these are statements and this was conducted with the able participation of all the other senators also, my colleagues. Of course, we were tasked to put them together, to collate the information, and to lift what we feel will best help us in our goal to achieving our legislative functions. Now, will it be supported? I am hoping that it will be supported. I'm confident with some of them. They've already expressed support in consultations with what the preliminary draft that I had. On the other hand, this is what I'm inclined to do. When they sign it, they can always put with amendments. This will not be an official committee report by the Senate unless it is defended on the floor when we resume session in May. On the other hand, if they sign it, we can already submit it to the Secretariat. And another thing is if they have any objections or added suggestions, I will submit that together with the report as a supplement to the report. None yet. But an intent and their expression, they expressed willingness to sign it as early as of yesterday. There are a few of them. I'd rather not give their names out. Anyway, it will be routed today.
Do you have any worries that that your committee report will be toned down? Because some senators are already disagreeing to the idea that the president is responsible for the Mama Sapano operations, saying there's no chain of command.
That's why I will request the senators to please put their objections or suggestions, recommendations in writing, and we will attach it.
Statement that the buck stops to the president. Pero sinasabi ng Malacanang that the president exercises prerogative in directly getting information to General Purisima and eventually to Juana Peñas.
To General Purisima, getting information. Hey, we're assuming that it was just getting information. But text messages, it sounds so simple, no? But text messages would prove otherwise because General Purisima was coordinating directly. And he was giving the updates to the president. So this is just more than providing information. In fact, even a directive to Purisima, Purisima's directive to Na Peña saying, ako nang bahala sa kay Katapang. That's assuming some sort of a role. So I feel that it's definitely more than just providing information out, but the president exercises prerogative to speak to any of the subordinates. Technically, he does not have to follow the chain of command. But again, why do I say that he did not? It doesn't mean that just because you don't have to follow, it doesn't mean that you will not be cited for not following it. Obviously, he didn't follow it, if you get my what I'm trying to explain. And it is not because the president will be legally liable, but because there's a reason why there's a chain of command in any organization, why there's a hierarchical structure, so that there will be order and clear accountability at every level. If you were a private business, you're the CEO, as I was saying, you hire an employee with a specialty. And so the president, as I said, going over OIC Espina made it that much more difficult to coordinate.
When you talked about U.S. involvement, are you satisfied that you have managed to uncover the full extent of U.S. involvement, or feeling nyo konti lang nakuha nyo because General Na Peñas was not very good?
No, I think that also collaborating stories by other survivors and officers will also prove that what General Na Peña said eventually is quite accurate. Now, I don't know in the planning stages what took place, because I think that General Na Peñas has a longer relationship with those American representatives here. Now, let's be clear that nobody said that the U.S. had an active ground combat involvement, and that is what is restricted in our agreement. They can give us intelligence support, and we welcome it, especially against a terrorist. We should welcome it, and we should cooperate. Number two, they provided, aside from intelligence, they also provided training. And they also provided some equipment. Sinabi nga, di ba, may scanner daw sa mata. Dapat ni Marwan, but because of time constraint, they just had to cut the finger. So obviously, wala naman tayong ganun. Or kung meron man, ewan ko kung nagagamit natin talaga, no? Tapos yung submission nga nung daliri, di ba may warrant of arrest? So sinabi nga ni Senator Coco, di dapat sa korte nyo sinabmit yan o sa police, di ba? Kasi may warrant of arrest si Marwan eh. Pero instead, Train submitted it to the FBI in Jensen. So the extent of the involvement, the planning stages, I would concede would probably be more. Now, am I willing to divulge it? If I knew it, not necessarily. Because if it will jeopardize diplomatic relations, it will weaken our ability to gather intelligence and to have their support. I think I would prioritize our national interest at that particular point.
Ma'am, Ma'am, in Operation Plan Exodus, we mentioned that the President knew about it, General Purisima knew about it, Pat Peñas knew about it, and there was massive influence from the United States. How come we are making our local officials accountable when the U.S. Are not getting any responsibility over this?
I wouldn't naman say massively responsible din yung foreign. No? First of all, we allowed them to be part of that operation. No? So, Peñas allowed it. I don't think the President, in any of the conversations, never even discussed foreign involvement. Maybe it was assumed, I don't know, but it was never discussed. Now, why don't we blame them? That's exactly why we don't want foreign involvement when it comes to ground combat. No? Because ultimately, we are responsible for our own actions, to allow them or not to allow them. Now, did they give us the wrong information? I don't think so, because if their main mission was to get Marwan, they got it. Were they successful in protecting the SAF? I'm sorry to say, but that may not have been their priority. Hindi naman nila kadugo yan eh. Nasa sa atin yon. Na kay General Peñas yon. At alam mo, again, as I said, wala namang perfecto. Maari talagang nagkamali, na overestimate, na underestimate. Isa pa palang pagkakamali. Isa lamang ang entry and exit points. Sa kanyang plano, walang abort mission except for three categories. Number one, ubusan sila ng bala, walang ammunition na. Number two, pag merong medical, if a lot of them are wounded. And then number three, if there are more rebel forces. That's incomplete for an abort plan. From the very beginning, 36 ng SAF tatawid ng ilog. Nalagas na ang ilan na lang ang nakapasok. Kalahati. Tapos, late pa sila lahat dumating. Sabi nga nila yung advantage nila, night vision goggles, di ba? Tapos late sila dumating, dapat alas 2, yung iba sa kanila nakarating na ng alas 4, hindi lamang ilang minuto. Ininsayo ba talaga nila? Ba't sila nagkandawala? Kaya nga sinasabi ko ito, masakit po lahat, pero lahat po talaga nagkamali. Hindi lamang isa o dalawang tao. Tama ang sinabi ng pamilya ng biktima ng SAF. May kumausap sa akin. Sinabi niya, "Ma'am, sana naman hindi lamang isang tao ang mananagot dito." At alam ko na yung tinutukoy nila. Sana naman wag lang sina Peñas ang managot dito. Totoo naman. Hindi lamang siya. Pero isipin na naman natin at maging patas rin naman tayo na hindi intensyon ito. Pagkakamali ito at malaking pagkakamali sapagkat siya ang commander. Pero sa mga pamilya naman, alam ko, marami sa inyo naghihimok. Ang presidente dapat ang managot dito. Sa lahat po ng pagpapatakbo sa ating gobyerno, punot dulo po niyan talaga ang presidente. Pero dito, siya rin po ang nagbigay ng order dito. Pero wag din natin kalilimutan na ang talagang kumalabit ng mga baril na yan ay ang mga rebelde sa ground.
Papunta po tayo sa usapin yan, ma'am, na yun nga po. Going back to your first point, you called it a massacre at sila nga yung kumalapit ng baril. May rekomendasyon po ba yung committee kung anong dapat gawin ng pamahalaan para to bring to justice those behind it?
Ay, doon sa mga pumatay? Ito yung mga kaso laban sa kanila. Murder. Frustrated murder para dun sa mga hindi nila napatay na nag-survive. At number 3, robbery. Alam mo, may mga sinasabi pa nga, hindi lamang robbery, di ba? May sinabi pa nga na, anong tawag dito? Illegal possession. Kasi wala naman silang lisensya sa mga baril na yun pag kinuha. Pero that's beside the point na kasi, kaya nga sila rebelde. Talagang hindi yata nila talaga pinaparehistro yung mga baril na yan. Kaya robbery. Di ba? Yun talaga yung ano.
Ma'am, dito po sa executive summary that we have now, nakahanay po kung bakit sinasite ninyo na responsible ang Pangulo. Ma'am, pero hindi ko alam, ma'am, kung minaskip ako, pero wala po ako nakita na specific recommendation kung paano mapapanagot or anong specific recommendation tungkol sa Pangulo.
Okay. Ganito po yun, ano. May mga sinasabi, meron tayong mga statements dyan na the President should be candid or speak truthfully or give us a better picture of what happened. No? Now, sa atin kasi, unang-una, ang presidente po ay may immunity, no, sa mga kaso. Mapapanagot lamang ang Pangulo sa pamamagitan ng isang impeachment kung naniniwala tayo na pinagtaksilan niya ang ating tiwala or betrayal of public trust. Ngayon, ano ang magiging grounds doon? Ang masasabi ko lamang, di ba, dun ba sa Pangulo, ito yung mga kaso na pwedeng sampahan sa kanya pag siya'y natapos na ng termino, inducement at saka conspiracy in the usurpation of power by Purisima. Yan po ang mga tanong, pero kami po ay uupo bilang judge o maestrado pag nagkaroon ng impeachment. Hindi ko sinasabing it will prosper, hindi ko sinasabing it should prosper, hindi ko sinasabing magkakaroon ng ganito. I'm just giving you an idea why we cannot even, at this point, recommend a particular offense to the President because it is only through impeachment, and if that happens, we ourselves will sit as judges. But I think, as already mentioned, that the repercussion to the President is clearly political. That's why I sympathize also with what he's going through. And I feel that the best way that we can rectify, we can never bring back the lives of those men, but at least to lay down whatever shortcomings that were not intentional, that could have been prevented.
Ma'am, follow up lang po. Since you said, ma'am, yung mapapanagot lang siya dun sa impeachment, yung po bang draft report can be used as basis. Paano po yun? Kayo rin yung nag-draft. Tapos eventually, kung magagamit siyang evidence or basis sa complaint, wala bang, paano po yung magiging implication ng draft report niya?
Itong committee report ay pwedeng gamitin maski na saan sapagkat ito naman ay sinumpaang mga salaysay. So kung para sa anong korte man, kung para sa pag-iimbestiga ng Kongreso, but remember, it's the prerogative and the authority of Congress to begin such proceedings. It's not from the Senate. So it is up to them what sources of information they will use, if ever. Again, betrayal of public trust. Napakabigat naman. Sasabihin nila na malaking pagkakamali. Totoong malaki ang pagkakamali. Pero tayo ba ay pinagtaksilan kung ang hangarin halimbawa ay gawin tayong mas ligtas sa pagkakaroon ng ganito?
Ma'am, so even with your findings, ma'am, so parang sinasabi niyo none of the grounds para ma-impeach the President, hindi ho present. Despite your findings, ma'am, hindi pa rin, wala pa din po dun sa 5 na grounds for impeachment ang pwedeng gamitin kay President?
First of all, I don't want to comment on that. As I said, if it prospers, we will sit as judges also in the impeachment trial. On the other hand, when you look at it, the category is betrayal of public trust, and that's for everyone to see. So, betrayal of public trust is very broad, but we should also look at the magnitude and the direct responsibility. Perhaps, and you know, I'm not one to advise anyone in particular, but any leader in this situation would benefit from, number one, apologizing, number two, stating the truth, number three, ensuring the welfare of the widows, the families of the victims, and number four is to prosecute those who are responsible for the criminal offense.
Ma'am, ay, sige. Ate Ma.
Ma'am, parang gano'n na lang yon after the Senate panel found the President liable for the Mama Pasano debacle. We can't do anything about it. Na he can't be held accountable for all the blunders committed.
The President can be held accountable through impeachment. That's the only way that we can probably ask the President for his statements or be involved in the investigation in Congress. But again, that begins in Congress. But I think it is already fairly, it's strong enough that the committee has already found that the President assented to the participation of a suspended officer. Who is suspended for what reason? Corruption. Political, sometimes legal implications. Alam niyo, sa totoo lang, kung napakagagaling ng mga abogado niyo, hindi kayo kilalang tao, pwede pa ninyong maluksuhan yan at matapos. Pero ang political, mahirap yan. Lalong-lalo na sa reputasyon ng isang tao at sa pagkakilala ko sa presidente. Siguradong dinadamdam niya ito. Malaking dagok din ito, hindi ito basta-basta, hindi porkit na sinasabing wala kang criminal liability. Ang ibig sabihin nun ay walang dagok ito. Meron po.
Ma'am?
Ma'am, natukoy po ba? Sorry, nagulat. Ma'am, natukoy po ba sa executive session or na-determine niyo po ba kung if there was really an order from the President for the military to stand down dahil sa peace talks?
Wala. Wala in executive session. Nobody said that. Nobody verified that. Nobody, we asked it even if there was anything by the peace process that told them. None except that there was an earlier statement, if I'm not mistaken. General Katapang, I think, mentioned something like on the 25th that we have to take into consideration also the peace process. And then eventually he qualified it. But regardless, it will be in our committee report. Estong?
Okay. Ma'am, sinabi niyo dito sa report niyo na parang tinake niyo as face value yung sinabi ng diniklara ng MILF na individual and private capacity yung ginawang pagpatay ng mga kanilang members doon sa SAP. Ganun na lang ba yun? Yung pakinggan niya lang kagad natin sila na pag diniklara nila na individual and private capacity yung ginawa ng kanilang mga combatants, hindi kasali yung organisasyon. Parang ganon.
Doon nga talaga natin makikita din yung sinseridad ng MILF, no? Kasi, pagka sinubitin nila yung mga pangalan na yan, sila naman ay Pilipino eh. May karapatan din naman sila na magbigay ng kanilang panig. So kung sa investigasyon na yon, MILF sila, pero hindi naman sila yung diretsahang brutal na nagpatay. At ginawa nila ito dahil legitimate self-defense. Sa ating mga korte, dapat sila din ay panigan. Pero tama nga yung tanong mo, ibig sabihin ba hindi na sila dapat kasama sa pag-uusap na ito? Kung sinasabi mismo ng liderato ng MILF, they acted on their own. Meaning, without sanction by the MILF leadership. So, it doesn't matter what the MILF says in this particular issue. They are Filipinos. They are subject to our laws.
Pero, ma'am, sinasabi ni Iqbal na kaya nagkaroon na encounter or misencounter dahil walang coordination. So, meaning, meron silang order dun sa assumption ko lang na doon sa ML commander na yon, na kapag walang coordination, tirahin nyo na yan.
Di naman. Siguro para sa akin, may importante ang koordinasyon sa kanila sapagkat unang-una, syempre kung ikaw may bahay ka, biglang may pumasok doon, kahit na naka-uniforme yung police, pagka nabigla ka at hindi inexplika sa'yo, baka pagbababarilin mo rin, no? Para depensa ng sarili mo. Pero remember yung kwento kasi ng 55th SAC. Nagtitinginan lang sila hanggang nagkaroon na ng araw eh. Kaya alam natin sa puntong yon, Hindi naman self-defense dahil sinabi nga nung isang survivor, ang direktiba ng kanilang commander, huwag kayong magpapaputok hanggat hindi kayo pinaputukan. Pero dun sa banda naman ng 84th Seaborne, obviously, surgical operation yon. Sila yung unang, well, nakatapak nga sila sa bomba, so nagkagulo-gulo na doon. Pero sila talaga yung nag-initiate noon. So, in that case, kung meron nasama doon, legitimate siguro, may self-defense. Pero muli yung peace process kasi, meron namang mga naging matagumpay na pag-uusap na yung coordination nila nagbunga ng hindi pagkakaroon ng massacre at saka pagkakaroon ng tagumpay dun sa operasyon. Masasama ko yun siguro, pwede ko naman bigyan kayo ng kopya ng mga mas matagumpay na koordinasyon. Pero yun nga kasama yan dun sa aming rekomendasyon. Yung ating CCCH at saka yung AJAG, paano natin mas mapapaayos ang mekanismo ng ceasefire? Kasi paano kung nagkakaroon na talaga ng putukan doon? Paano mo matitigil yan? Kailangan ba meron kang barker? O itigil niya yan. Ang hirap pagkarinigan din sa mga ganon. Kaya yun yung mga bagay na kasama din sa aming report.
Ma'am, di ba nasabi niyo yung ganitong provision dito sa executive summary para hindi malagay sa alanganin yung peace process with MILF? Kaya tinanggap niyo yung deklarasyon ng liderato ng MILF na private individual capacity yung ginawa ng kanilang mga fighters na bumatay sa SAP.
Na tinatanggap namin yung kanilang statement?
Para lang hindi madiskaril yung peace process.
Alam mo, nadidiskaril na nga Kasi kung, okay, ganito lamang yun.
Tuluyang madiskaril, katulad ng sinabi ng AFP, ma'am, na kaya sila hindi nagpaputok ng dahil parang lumilitaw na
yun ang sinabi ni General Katapang nung, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, Jan 25. Basta nung mga pagkatapos ng Jan 26, no? Ganito lamang yon. Ano yung silver lining dito? Ang daming buhay na buwis. Ano yung reward? Ano yung ating nagawa dito? Hindi lamang sa pagtugis ng isang wanted na kriminal. Ito yung pagbukas ng ating isipan sa kahalagahan ng peace process, sa kahalagahan ng pagbusisi ng BBL. Kasi sa totoo lang, di ba, dito sa Senado at sa Kongreso, hanggat hindi nagsa-second reading, minsan hindi natin inuusisa ang bawat probisyon. Ito napaaga na. Nakita na natin kung anong nangyari. Naantala ba? Maantala ba? Naantala na. At huwag natin madaliin para lamang maipasa ito. Kailangan mabusisi. Pero huwag niyong kalimutan ang poverty rate sa Maguindanao ay double sa national average. Kung 25% tayo, sila 40 plus. Talagang kailangan na nila ng kapayapaan at kaunlaran doon.
Ma'am, just to be very clear, so are you in effect saying that as an organization, the MILF has no liability or responsibility in this mess?
No, not necessarily. What I'm saying is, with regards to the ones that had the direct hand in the killing, the MILF, as quoted, said that they're on their own. Diba? They acted in their, not on their own, but they acted on their individual capacity. But the MILF is still liable. Number one, they haven't even returned the arms that they have from the SAF or the personal effects of the SAF. They have not submitted their committee report, and then there's still the question that did they really harbor the criminal in their territory? Remember, in the report of Senator Cayetano, this is worth looking into.
And given that, ma'am, do you still see them? Do you think they're still trustworthy partners in the peace process?
I don't want to give sweeping statements, especially a lot rests on this. But the scrutiny of the provisions of the BBL will be tackled more extensively and at length by the committee of Senator Marcos on local government, the BBL provision. So, are they still worthy partners? Right now, it seems like they need to prove themselves above and beyond, because it seems like their actions, like for example, submitting it to Malaysia, the reports is instead of here, it might be a part of the peace agreement mechanisms, but they could also go beyond that to show their sincerity and submit it to us. But I am thankful that Chairman Iqbal at least showed up in our committee hearing. See, you see what's wrong here. He's a Filipino. He is required to attend, but we feel like it is a favor also granted to us. That's why I always say we should really negotiate from a position of strength.
How do we file the cases, or how do we implement yung charges if until now the names of the MILF and BIFF fighters weren't yet submitted to the Senate or to the DOJ?
In that case, let us not rely on the MILF alone. There are other informers on the ground, perhaps the community, the civilian community might have information. Then this is now the task of the NBI, the DOJ, to be able to get it. It would have been easier had the names been submitted to us. Local government can help too. I'm sorry.
But ma'am, they were mentioned in the transcripts of General Purisima and the Peñas. Commanders, MILF commanders were helping, supposedly helping. Na aalis na sila, so makadaan ng mga safe passage.
I'm sorry, could you repeat your question? I'm sorry.
Ma'am, I think there were MILF commanders mentioned in the text messages between Purisima and the Peñas on the commanders na magbaback out para hindi na pumaril sa mga SAF. I think
parang meron ganun mga positioning, no, na inform na yung iba kaya makakadaan sila, pero yun na nga pinta kasi, so may BIFF pa. Again, that's why it's better to bring them to trial, so that they can also, they're assumed innocent until proven guilty, so they can defend themselves. They can say, look, as soon as we were informed that we should cease fire, we adhered to that. Diba? Okay, with the military, I don't, there's no legal liability that I see. On the other hand, we have to respect also. Oo nga naman, hindi naman pwedeng basta randomly, halika dito sa lakayan natin to. Teka muna, ano bang mission nyo? Sino ba yung ililigtas natin dyan? Give them naman the due courtesy, hindi man lamang nabigay yun eh. Tapos pero ha, yun nga yung tanong eh. Sabi kasi, conflicting rin kasi dahil sabi nga, okay, 3 requirements: friendly forces on the ground, enemy forces, and forward observers. 3 criteria before they can fire the white phosphorus or artillery. Pero nakita naman natin yung aerial shot ng Mama Sapa, no? Na, patag eh, halos walang mga bahay doon, wala namang civilian. So, at that point, talaga bang takot sila na baka may crossfire, yung civilian ang matamaan, o meron pang ibang pumipigil sa kanila? Kaya hindi sila nagpadala ng white phosphorus. Yun po yung mga bagay-bagay na siguro, hindi lamang ang presidente kundi ang security cluster na nasa Zamboanga ay pwede rin siguro magdagdag pa ukol dito.
So ma'am, hindi talaga, do you really believe na walang nagawa ang security cluster sa Zamboanga with all the resources of government? You have the AFP, Defense Chief, SILG, everybody in the Security Council, and you have the President as Commander-in-Chief. You rely on just text messages. You have the help of the US. You have real-time location of the staff members and everything. Do you really believe wala magagawa ang Pangulo at ang buong security team?
Di ba tinanong na nga sila, pati tayo ay nagkulat na, alam ninyo? Anong sinabi ninyo? Wala. Hindi pa parang nag-uusap-usap pa sila. Do I really believe they could have done more? Yes. Remember, in all of our public hearings, present sila. Hindi naman nila sinagot. Ang sinabi lang nila, kasi hindi kami in-inform ahead of time. So again, contingency measures are important. And that should have been planned also in Oplan Exodus. Kung ganito mangyayari, anong gagawin natin? At saka syempre, hindi ka naman magiging rank na nandun ka sa pinakamataas na wala ka namang common sense, di ba? Sabihin na natin, hindi natin madedeploy lahat yan mga air support sapagkat napaka-short notice. Anong pwede natin gawin sa sitwasyon na ito? Alam nyo, nararamdaman ko din, si General Pangilinan, remember mahigpit ang military sa chain of command. Hindi ko alam kung talagang merong nagsabi sa kanya na dapat, Commander, puputakin na ninyo yan. Kung ano man yung meron kayo dyang white phosphorus na yan para matulungan. Yun ang hinihingi ng PNP umpisa pa lang. Parang mahirap paniwalaan na nandun ang buong security cluster na kung sabay-sabay nilang speakerphone si General Pangilinan ay hindi niya gagawin yung iuutos nila. At pwede na naman siguro, ito na pwede namang iutos ng 6ID commander or assistant commander, take over because the commander does not want to take orders from us. I mean, I'm not military, but I guess you could do that if you're a higher ranking officer. You're the chief AFP. So yun po yung mga bagay na pwede. Kaya hindi ko din masisisi talaga yung mga pamilya na talagang ngit-ngit. Nangit-ngit din sila na, bakit hindi? Baka naman nabuhay pa ang aming mga mahal sa buhay. Pero ang pagkakamali po kasi ay sa umpisa pa lamang na pinayagan na nangyari yon, yung ganong klaseng time on target, yung ganong klase. I think the biggest factor contributing to the casualties is the non-coordination with the AFP. I think that's really the biggest factor.
Ma'am, another question. With this report, don't you feel, are you not afraid that you will not get the presidential endorsement in case you run for higher office?
First of all, I've always said that my mandate and the trust given to me, ang binigay pong tiwala ng ating mga kababayan, ay para gampanan ko itong trabaho ko dito sa Senado. Aaminin ko po sa inyo na sa pagkakakilala ko sa Pangulo, siya ay isang mabuting tao on a personal level. Sa tingin ko nga, sa lahat ng marami na nating naging Commander-in-Chief, siya talaga ang walang issue ng korupsyon. Sa sarili niya, hindi ko sinasabing sa lahat ng bubo ng administrasyon.
Pero ma'am, wala talagang pananagutan man for their failure na ibuhos ang lahat ng pwedeng ibuhos na suporta noong January 25. Walang anumang pananagutan doon, ma'am? Or
ang pananagutan nga nito, administratibo, halimbawa doon sa tatlo. Ngayon sa military kasi po,
yes,
walang pananagutan sa aking pananawa dito sa aming report sapagkat meron nga silang principles kung sinunod mo yon, yung principle nila before firing yung artillery support, ganyan, ito yung principle. At remember, nagpadala sila, ang military, nagpadala ng support maaga pa lang. Kaya lang yung armored vehicles nila hindi makapasok sapagkat malambot ang lupa at matubig ang terrain. Kaya nga 'di ba sa BOI report sinasabi yung situational awareness pati yung topography, yung analysis ng lugar hindi ginawa ng tama. So paano mo rin masisisi ang military? At saka nung bandang huli, sila ang sumama sa PNP para kunin ang 84th. So may nagawa sila ngayon. Talaga bang walang administratibo na magagawa sa kanila? Ang makakasagot niya siguro yung AFP mismo, yung liderato nila. Pero para sa akin, sinunod nila At saka unless may masasabi tayo na may inutos ang security cluster na hindi nila sinunod, doon lamang tayo magsasabi, wala ngang umamin doon sa mga resource persons natin
Baka maging president lahat magmamaang-maangan na.
Ma'am, last question from my part. Well, in the first place, was the security cluster even convened for this crisis? Were you able to establish kung yung security cluster ay kinonvene ng Pangulo. Kasi iba yung kasama lang sila dun sa Zamboanga. Cluster, nag-convene ba sila for this crisis?
Ang alam ko, meron lang sinabi sa Pangulo, pero kung natatandaan ko, sinabi ni Secretary Mar, hindi na nila pinag-usapan, sa haba ng, hindi na nila pinag-usapan at length dahil ang focus nila ay sa Zamboanga. Nabigyan ng Presidente ng isang briefing, kung hindi ako nagkakamali, si General... Parang isa lang na gano'n, and after that, the President went back to work in Zamboanga. So, wala talaga yung... as far as I remember, wala talaga yung nag-uusap-usap sila, security cluster, o ihabilin muna natin yung Zamboanga. Anyway, ang ginagawa nandito na tayo, ito muna dahil merong mga buhay na nakaabang dito.
So, parang...
Para sa akin, I think that would have been the most prudent thing to do kasi it's a security crisis.
I'm sorry
Ako nagmamaang-maangan, marami nang nagmamaang-maangan sa hearing ng Senado.
Ma'am, parang ma'am, di ba pwede maging president na, na magiging depensa na they were not informed. Pero ma'am, dito sa kaso na to, they were informed but ginawa po ba nila ang sapat when they were already informed about the incident?
Tama, ito na nga, na-inform na sila, bagamat nung araw din na yon, siguro mas maganda kung ma-explica nila, ito lang ang pwede namin gawin, kaya hindi namin nagawa. Or, kasi alam mo, ang explanation ni Secretary Mar, these are occurrences that happen every day. Or not every day, but frequently. May mga casualties, may operation, may ganyan. That was his explanation for not having perhaps ordered more or focused more on the situation.
No, just one.